We spend almost our entire lives inside buildings. But have you ever really stopped to wonder if we could build them better? Not just for us, but, for the planet? Well, today, we're going to explore some pretty wild ideas that are completely shaking up the future of architecture. Okay, let's just dive right in. It all kicks off with one single, really big number: 39%. Just look at that for a second. What on earth could that be? It's a number so big that it impacts every single one of us, every day, whether we realize it or not. You got it. Nearly 40% of all global carbon emissions come from our buildings. That's from the research. To put that in perspective, that's double the entire industrial sector. It's more than all the cars, planes, and ships combined. That figure it's just staggering. And it perfectly sets up the massive challenge we're facing. So yeah, it's pretty clear we've got a problem. The way we've always built things is having a huge environmental impact. But a challenge like this, it also sparks some absolutely incredible innovation. And that's exactly what we're going to look at today. These new ways of thinking that could totally change the game. Okay, first up, we've got a concept that will honestly challenge everything you think you know about what a house is. It's called the Earthship, and believe me, it is a radical, radical departure from the norm, pioneered by this visionary architect, Michael Reynolds. So what is an Earthship, really? Well, think of it less like a house and more like a self-sustaining machine for living. The whole point is to be completely off-grid. It's built with recycled stuff like old tires. It heats itself with the sun, gets its water from the rain, and even treats its own waste. It's all about creating a home that works with nature, not against it. And the design is just genius in how it weaves all these systems together. Check this out. The walls are often built from old tires packed with earth. Now that creates this incredible thermal mass. So they soak up the sun's heat all day and then slowly release it at night, keeping the temperature stable. And that's just one piece. It's combined with clever solar design, its own food production, renewable energy. Every single system is designed to work together. These interconnected systems are all built around 6 core ideas. Let's run through them real quick. 1. Build with natural and repurposed stuff. 2. Use the sun and the earth for heating and cooling. Slashes your energy bill. 3. Make your own electricity from solar and wind. 4. Catch and use rainwater. 5. Deal with your own sewage on site. And finally, number 6, grow your own food. You put all that together, and what do you get? A truly self-sufficient home. Now, if you're picturing some kind of rough, rustic shack, think again. This right here is the Phoenix Earthship in New Mexico. We're talking over 5,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, and a literal jungle growing inside the atrium. It just goes to show you that sustainable, off-grid living doesn't mean you have to give up comfort or beauty. I mean, look at that. It can be absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so this idea of working with natural systems, it leads us right into our next big concept for today, which is a design field called biomimicry. The whole idea is simple. Let's look to the natural world for brilliant, time-tested solutions to our own problems. I just love this quote because it nails it. For nearly 4 billion years, nature has been running the world's most intense R&D lab. Everything we see today, every plant, every animal, it's a success story. It's figured out how to survive and thrive. So why would we try to reinvent the wheel when we can just learn from the ultimate expert? Here's the classic example pretty much everyone knows. Back in 1941, this Swiss engineer, Georges de Mestral, was out walking his dog and noticed these annoying burrs sticking to its fur. But instead of just brushing them off, he got curious. He looked under a microscope and saw this amazing system of tiny hooks. A few years later, he patented that exact same idea as Velcro. That's biomimicry in a nutshell. You just observe, learn, and adapt. But it goes way, way beyond just fasteners. Take a look at this building. This is the Eastgate Center in Zimbabwe. And get this, it has no conventional air conditioning. None. But it stays cool all year round. So how does it do it? The architects actually studied termite mounds, which stay at a constant temperature thanks to a really clever system of vents. The Eastgate building basically copies that passive ventilation system, and as a result, it uses way less energy than the buildings around it. All right, so we've got Earthships, this radical way to build a self-sufficient home. And we've got biomimicry, this incredible design philosophy that learns from nature's genius. So what happens? What happens when these two amazing ideas come together? I mean, really, what kind of innovation is even possible when these two worlds collide? When you take the principles of a house that sustains itself and you supercharge it with the time-tested strategies of the natural world?
Well, the answer looks a little something like this. This is the Eden Project in Cornwall, England. It is an absolutely iconic botanical garden and educational center, and it is a perfect monumental example of what happens when you combine the self-sufficiency of an Earthship with the pure design intelligence of biomimicry.
Let's break down how this amazing fusion actually works. Those famous domes? That's pure biomimicry. They were inspired by soap bubbles, which naturally form a shape that can enclose a huge space with the least amount of material. So they're incredibly strong and efficient. And that amazing structure then enhances all the Earthship principles happening inside. It's a massive greenhouse, perfect for passive solar heating. Its huge surface area is great for collecting rainwater. And the whole system creates this closed loop where waste from the kitchens becomes compost for the gardens. See, it's not just two ideas next to each other. They're working together to make something even better.
So the Eden Project, it's not just a cool building. It really represents a powerful path forward. It's like a blueprint for how we can design not just our buildings, but entire systems that are way more sustainable, more resilient, and just more in tune with the world around us.
And this really shows the journey we're on, right? We started with just conventional building, then we moved to green buildings, then sustainable buildings that aim for net zero. But ideas like Earthships and biomimicry, they push us to go even further towards what we call restorative or regenerative design. That's where our buildings actually co-evolve with nature. The goal is no longer just to do less harm. The goal is to actively do good. And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought. By looking at these radical ideas like Earthships and tapping into the ancient wisdom that's literally encoded in nature all around us, we've really only just scratched the surface of what's possible. So the real question is, what else is out there? What else can nature teach us about building a better world?